In this video, we're going to continue doing exponential equations with different bases, but actually we're also going to be discussing it where the bases are fractions. All right, so if this says 1/2 to the x power equals 4, let's just deal with this one first. Well, how did we get 1/2 to begin with? Wasn't that just, isn't 1/2 the same as 2 to the negative 1? Isn't 1/2 2 to the negative 1? And then we throw down the x. Do you see that? 1/2, I just flip it upside down, but because right now there's a 1 on there. The exponent is 1. But if I flip it upside down, it will become negative 1. All right, give me the same base. Doesn't that just equal 2 squared? 4 is 2 squared. All right, so now I just multiply this 2 to the negative 1x equals 2 squared. All right, now I have the same base. Now I can just solve it. Negative 1x equals 2, and then I divide by negative 1, and x equals negative 2. So in that case, x equals negative 2. Copy that down. Guys, always come up and talk to me if you can't figure these out as well, okay? Because these are pretty important. All right. Next, we have 4 to the x plus 1. Let's go like this. 4 to the x plus 1 is the same as 1 over 64. Well, again, isn't there an automatic 1 on this guy? A positive 1? But if I make it a negative 1, I'm going to pull that 64 up top. So watch. So 4 to the x plus 1 is the same as 64 to the negative 1. So far, so good? But can I turn this big guy into a base 4? If you don't know, go back, get your calculator, and go like this. 4 times 4 equals, is that 64? No. Times 4 equals, is that 64? Well, as a matter of fact, it is. So how many 4s do you have? You have 3. All right, so look, 4 to the x plus 1 equals 4 to the third, all to the negative 1. You see that? Now the bases are the same, but now we have to continue on doing this. So x plus 1, I'm running out of room, that's why I've got to squeeze this on, equals, x plus 1 equals 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. I subtract, and x equals negative 4. So my answer is negative 4. So we had to turn, it's the same stuff, but we had to remember that when you have a fraction, to get it back up, you have to go, either the negative or the positive, depending on where it is, to turn it back into a positive exponent. Okay?